been a very hard life, but when you look at the horror that have happened the last few years, it's been even worse. Uh, I have to speak to the American people from my heart because it has gotten to a point where uh, the torture, the cutting down of a human being, uh, the, the hate is just incredible. Uh, as it will be tomorrow, I still have not received a lease. I cannot review it. I still have not received the Social Security disability card. So the mail we have known for a long time have been played with. That's what happened with TD Bank. But let's set all of that aside for a minute. The Colorado Health Network is now sending the deposit rent using the HOPWA program, which they have, before the eviction, after the eviction, told us did not exist, even though it was there, appropriated by Congress. So we ran through the whole eviction for basically nothing. It was an exercise in power, as you see now. And there is something about people not wanting Heidi and I to be together, I think, as a mixed couple. And it's very hard because, you know, people tell you something, you get up, you go, you try to do the right thing, but you essentially get played at every turn. Had the medical waiver be sent by now, the issue of the income, the deposit, the payments will not have happened. I have been put on a coma in February by David Island of the Colorado, the Rocky Mountain pain specialist. He injected me with a massive amount of something, we still don't know what, but I was essentially in a coma. I was in a coma. My heart stopped. I stopped breathing, and I actually collapsed in his operating room table. Uh, I was taken to the emergency room at Rose Hospital, and I was revived thanks to the paramedics. There is very clearly evidence of brain injury. A guy by the name of Michael Spencer from the Colorado, the Rocky Mountain pain specialist, claiming to be a co-owner and an attorney, reached out to me over a week ago. I called back, not heard back. The thing that is very difficult is like when you call the doctors, you know they're not the doctors, they're somebody else. You have a way after many years, you know your doctor, you know who answered the phone, you know when they answer the phone. Now, lately, none of those things happen. And it's been the same thing with the neurosurgeon when I went to the emergency room. You can see that they have taken over a lot of the communications. So right now we're waiting. The medical waiver, there's a lot of evidence of brain damage. The medical waiver assistance request should have gone 2 weeks ago. The fact that I had to go to the doctors, the hospital yesterday, the emergency room, everywhere, get my medical record, the fact that the device is still active and hurting, the fact that the wire, and that's the medical record. I showed that to you yesterday. It's the doctor, it's the MRI, it's the CAT scan. They all there, they show it. No one can deny that those things have happened, that there is a lot of hurt. But the medical waiver is extremely significant. The delay, no one can deny that there has been explosion of the device in my back, that things were placed in a way that it harmed the heart, it harmed the lungs. So no one can also deny that the form should have been taken care of. the wall that we keep hitting is just very significant. And I think it is now for the American people to just realize that there is something seriously wrong. I get a number of phone call. I usually don't know who I'm dealing with. I try not to use the phone answer. But again, as I told you, I should have received a list by now. I should have received the fax to the doctor at the hospital. Should not have disappeared the letter. But one thing after another, nothing seemed to be happening. It's that as though somebody has put you in a little box in a hole, and once you in that hole, and no matter what you do, no matter what, it's only going to end one way, and that's absolute destruction of a human being. You have devices, you have things that are hurting, you have a medical record. It's very clear that the waiver, medical assistance waiver, should have been processed. It's very clear that, the email that I sent with the form to the Isabella should not have vanished. It's very clear, you can see almost how the gear are working together. We finally get to the place we told you have to put the deposit. That's all you need. Come on in. We come in, we give the money. There is another story. Go back, okay, can we go get the stuff that we have, that we took after the eviction and put in a storage unit? Yes, we can go. All you have to do now that you have put the money, we need about 2-3 days. There was something on the roof. It's strange. It's not the apartment that was given to us, first of all, that we reserved, that, the phone call, the email from Ramsey said 34102. It turned out to be another apartment. Now there is an issue with the ceiling. They have to fix things for a couple of days. We talked to the manager. Oh, when you come back, can we go get our stuff and move into the apartment? Oh, yeah, sure. All you need is, to show your Colorado driver license, to have, this license, rental insurance, and to do the electricity. Okay, those two other points are, as Ramsey was saying, negotiable because we did not have a lease as of yet. But somebody should have told us, here is a lease, you make a reservation, here is a lease, here is the amount of money that needs to be put. And you remember that I was calling Ramsey and saying, is that what we need? Is that all to move in today? We want to move in today. No mention. I called him, I told him, he put me on the phone. He claimed not to have received the forms for the deposit. But you can see that, just as magically, I held on to the phone, and for 10 minutes, nothing. Then I ended up hanging up. And then we were just very specifically told the 250 and you move in today. If you go back and listen to the phone conversation, that's exactly what you will hear. But you see how two things just happen magically, and they have, clogged everything. It's very hard on a human being to take that much abuse. I have taken it for a long time, for a very long time. I've been beaten in emergency room. I've been shackled. I've been, hit with false charges. I, had device put in me, the Medtronic device to torture. And it is significantly puzzling that it will still continue. That you will go through all of that in America and you will have no institution that are coming to your help. You will continue to be sabotaged, continue to be hurt, and your family. And yet you are the victim. Yet you're going to the FBI. Yet you're asking institution to help. Yet you're doing the right thing. But somehow you're hitting a big wall. And the big wall is made of hate. It's hard compact. It's something that short of your death and your absolute destruction, there is just literally nothing that you can do as a human being. Uh, you send the facts to the doctor, the records are there, they vanish. You face a lot of delay. You know, you get evicted. The check, TD Bank check, they just manipulate it. They don't get there at a time. They get there after you evicted. The post office, like you see now with the cop. So, however hard you try, to be a good citizen, however hard you try to contribute to society, you keep hitting this wall, you know. And the wall is rogue agents using the institution of the government. The wall is a wall of hate. It's a wall of destruction. But it has gotten to the point where your communication with Congress are hijacked, your communication with other people are hijacked, and every legal remedy, every institution you have gone to, they just seem to have shut down. So we're now back in this situation where, again, it's close to 5 p.m. This email was sent around 1 or 2 p.m., actually even much earlier, around 12 by the manager of the Isabella. Nothing. Still have not received it. I had to call Google and a senator's office for me to be allowed to even log into my professional Google account. I logged into my professional Google account and then look at what happened. I still have not received a list. It probably will appear magically tomorrow. I tried to log into Excel to get the thing, but the fact that they're doing something with the ceiling, that the first apartment did not go through when it was actually booked, it's just a lot of strange things that, again, you can see are happening. Now they need a couple of days of repair. And, tomorrow is Thursday. I couldn't even get the doctors on the phone to see that that the nurse has received the original fax. We now face additional expenses to move all of the stuff from Heidi Place, then take it, the storage place, then take whatever I have here. And it's just something that you have to speak directly to the American people. You're terminally ill, you have a disability, there are devices and wire inside of you that are hurting. It's sheer torture. For the last 2 days, I've tried to get a hold of one of the doctors that usually just call the answer. Nothing. The sabotage is just very extreme. Whether there are your private email, your communication with other people, with elected officials, with the press, everything is shut down. You are closeted. And I mentioned the incident of that guy having a key and walking into the hotel. It's not safe. It's deadly. But look at what happened now. We're still here. We're still suffering.